Hello and welcome back to Practical React. Tonight we're doing part 2 of how to create an app notification system in my Redux React Bootstrap PWA, an installable web app. So as I said, this is part 2. Part 1, the video glitched a lot because I did it live stream and the information is still there. It isn't great. I'm not going to delete it. I'm also not going to redo it. My compromise is to go back over what my plan was and show you what's already been done. So, as I said, this is a notification system, and overall I need to be able to trigger Bootstrap style alerts from anywhere within my React application, and I'm planning on doing that using Redux, and in particular using actions. And so I need to be able to invoke these actions from anywhere within my app. Some more requirements here to go over real quick. They also have an amount of time each one of these notifications will display for, and you'll see that here in the model. It's got a message, an event ID, a type, which I'll explain soon, and a display for, which is your milliseconds to display the notification. It's also going to be a queued notification system, meaning that it can contain more than one. It'll only display one at a time, and each one for the given amount of milliseconds configured in the notification itself, and there will be a default for that as well. It's also important to make sure that if the user chooses to hover or tap it, we're not going to close it, but it also needs to be dismissible. And so I mentioned types earlier. This is what I mean. These are my types: info, error, sass, and then also danger and warning. I'm sorry, not error. Yeah, info, warning, info, error, sass, and warning. And these types will change the color, and these types will change the header. Some other nice to haves potentially. I'm not going to code them in, but maybe things I do in the future. Perhaps make it where they could copy the notification or event ID in case it's needed for troubleshooting later, but perhaps better would be just to allow them to send the notification to the administrator if the notification happens to be a type of error or danger, or maybe both, so then they could potentially track the issue themselves should they be having one. Okay, so what have I already accomplished in the previous video? The first thing I got done was I defined and created the notification type, and I also created a function, a creator function for it. So let's have a look at that first. I'm going to show you the TypeScript for that first, and I have a models file in the types folder, which is where I keep all my typings. And in this file I have two interfaces, a notification interface, notification, and that has the message, the event ID, and the type, and these directly map to Bootstrap types. And what that means is that that's how they're going to get their color coding and potentially their appearance otherwise, should I decide to add specific CSS around one of those. And also I added a model creators interface, and this is going to be a collection of all the different models that can be created and the spec for what their creator function should look like. So you'll see basically what I'm hoping to accomplish here is take, I think this should be event ID. Okay. Is take these arguments and they map directly to the properties, so I'm really just creating an object off of the properties. that are passed in through the arguments. I do this purely again to enforce. This is a pattern I developed doing TypeScript. It's a good way to create a typed object from loose arguments that no one, they use this creator method, and it shows me exactly what I need to provide in order to create this object. So that being said, I also had to update my app state, my Redux app state, to contain an array of notifications, and this is what is going to function as the queue. So we'll go back and look at that type file here. You'll see I have a states file, and this is the interface for all the states that my app is going to have. It's going to have multiple layers of states, depending on sections and whatnot. But the overarching one, of course, is going to be app state, and that's going to contain things that they all would have in common. And notifications is now in here. You see that's an array of notifications, and you'll see that all of my states get rolled up into this all states interface. So as I add more state interfaces here for different sections, I will add them here, because this is what the structure of all the states that I'll be selecting from, all the outgoing state information back into the app. This will be the structure that all of it will be receiving, and so this is my way of making sure that it's TypeScript for me. Okay, notification types based on Bootstrap classes. Okay, so let me show you that. Okay, so this is my actual notification component. And you'll see here I've got really basic Bootstrap based alert, and up here I have the heading types, and so you'll see it's going to choose which variant it should use based on the type and the notification. It's also going to change its heading. It's going to use the notification type as the key value to this heading types map up here. So that's how I implemented that. Alright, so we're going to create a couple cases in our Redux reducer to accept the actions, to accept the new information from the actions and calculate the new state. So let's have a look at my reducers now. Let's see, I think I have it open. No. Okay, so I have a folder called reducers, and I have my app reducer in that folder. You see I added a couple of new states. You'll see the new states they case on some keys in the app actions. Okay, in particular they're keying off of queue notification and dispose notification. We'll have a look at those in a second. You see I've got some information letting me know that I made it in the block. Then after that you'll see that I am updating my notifications here. Let me close this. Okay. Then I'm updating my notifications. I'm adding the newly queued notification to the bottom or the top of the stack by destructuring the notifications that were already there, if there were any. Right, so I'm checking to see if there are, and if there are, I'm going to destructure and put that on the backside, or I'm just going to take the current one and wrap it in a new array. And so you'll see results. So new state, I'll show you what new state is real quick. New state is a typed variable. It comes from iappstate that I showed you earlier. So it knows, so new state, our code here will assume that new state has all the properties of iappstate, even though it's not going to. And the reason I'm doing that, again, this is for TypeScript, and this isn't the case where I would be expecting to have any of these values. I would only be expecting to be adding these values, and so this is just a way for me to be able to get my typings and on an empty object. So I don't know that I would do this in other cases, but in this particular case, I'm just trying to use TypeScript to my advantage as much as possible. So you'll see that I added this new notifications object to my new state, and then I'm merging it. And so what I mean when I say merge it is I'm using an assigned function to take my new slice of state, superimpose it onto this state, and then superimpose that onto an empty object, creating a new reference, which is what is going to be returned coming out of the reducer. Okay, so that's what happens when I queue a notification. If I dispose of one, you'll see I'm just going to shift out, and then I'm going to destructure my array into a new array, into the new state, into the new notifications property and the new state. I'm going to merge my results again, and I'm going to return those. And so that's how my reducer is working. And you see I just showed you the create case remove notification as well. Create a notification listener that will listen to the error slice of state. Okay, I should probably not say error slice, I should probably say notification slice. So let's have a look at that. My listener, okay, it's in my components, it's in my shared components. There's a special folder called listener. I'll be right back. Okay, pardon me. Okay. Notification listener. Okay, so let's have a look at this code real quick and run you through it. This is a React component, and you'll see here that I am listening, or I'm selecting any change to, oh, that's not going to be right. All right, great. You helped me fix an error. Okay, so it's going to be listening to any changes to app notifications. You'll see I've got some local or internal state here for this particular component around the current notification. I also am setting a timer. I think this is going to work inside of this like this, but we'll have to see. Alright, and so you'll also see that I have a function here called create timeouts. I might be able to factor this out of the component itself. I'm not sure if there are advantages or not to that. If you know, or leave me a comment, school me. Okay, so create timeout is creating a new timeout. We're setting a timeout, and then we're going to set the notification timer property to this timeout. Now, what I'm not sure about is if this is where I should clear any current timeout. Actually, probably not, because that is not the job of this function, right? Okay, good for me. Okay, and so in this timeout, right, when this thing expires, it is going to dispose of this current notification. It's going to take it out of the queue, and it's going to set the current to null. Okay, so that's what we're doing on our timeout. All right, use effect. All right, so this current use effect, or this use effect, is listening for current notification. Let's look at what it's going to do when that changes. So the first thing I'm doing is clearing the current timeout if there is one. If there isn't one, I imagine this will just execute without effect. I am not sure. I think this must be a remnant. That's what it was. Okay. Yes. Okay, so if there is not a current notification, there is no need to set a timer, so we're just going to get out of here. If there is, then we're going to create a timeout. Okay, and so my hope here is that what is going to happen, oh, it won't though, will it? Yes, it will. Okay, is that what's going to happen is I will be able to, every time I update my current notification, it's going to check and see if it needs, what it needs to do with this timeout. So these timeouts being set are dependent upon the notifications. At least that's my plan. And let's see. Okay. And so now there's just some logic here down at the bottom determining what is going to be coming back at them. What type of component. You'll see here that if there isn't any notifications in state and there isn't a current notification, we're just gonna return a big nothing. Then if there is a current notification, there will also implicitly not be a length. I mean, there will implicitly, we would have pulled the last one, or regardless, we would pull one. But I don't think this works. Yeah, what I need to do is get notifications. See, I would have gotten an invariant error there. Okay, so we know it's not null. We know it's got at least one. So this is where we're going to pick a new one, because this means that there is a length and it means that there is not one being displayed. So there we go. Okay, so that's how we get the new notification into the current state. Okay, and if current notification is not null, we're just going to keep displaying. Okay. Great. Okay, so that's a flow of my listener. Okay, and my component, you saw my component for individual notification when I showed you how my class system was set up there. Okay, I don't have a default timeout set yet. I don't think that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to move on to creating the action to queue notification at app level. And so again, what this is, this action is a way, this is what I'm going to call from anywhere in my whole React app using dispatch. This is the method that I'm going to be able to use to add a notification to state to be showed at when its queue position comes up. Okay, so let's look first. I have already done the TypeScript for that in the last video, so let's have a look at that. Back to types, there we go, types, actions. Okay, so you'll see here I need 2 more constants, and these constants are what trigger the cases in the reducer, which you'll see. And I need 2 more methods, queue notification, which takes notification as a parameter, and it further expects an outer function. That dispatch method that I mentioned is going to come from our Redux hooks in our React component. Okay, and then dispose current notification takes no arguments. It also takes that dispatch function. They all will. Okay, so that is what That's how I need to update my state, or that's how I need to finish anyway. Let's see, I'm pretty sure I have this open. There it is. Okay, so you'll see I already have my keys here. So now we need to actually code something. Alright, so we got our dispatch function coming in. We are going to invoke that wrapped around an I action, which has both a type and a payload argument. The type is going to be, it's going to refer back to this. So we'll just wrap that. Oh wait, that's not the right way to do that, sorry. What is this called? App actions. Okay, so we're going to reference app actions, queue notification. The payload is going to be the new notification. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, and we'll borrow this, that's fine. We're going to fill in the dispose method. Let's change this. We got to change our key to the dispose key. Okay, great. So there we are. We've updated our actions. So let's go ahead and edit this. Okay, and I finished both of those. Create a composition layer, and so the idea here is, and I'm not going to do this really, this would be, I guess, if you had multiple ways, and I'll show you what I was talking about. Okay, my notification listener, it has a hard dependency on the notification state coming in through Redux. Certainly you could employ a listener and just have a property here called notification state, and then you could take this out and you wouldn't have that hard dependency anymore. But I really am good with that, so I am just gonna move that off my plate. Nice. Yeah, and so you'd also need to send a dispose method along with your queue source. But anyway. Okay, so yes, we have done this part. Okay, great. So is hovering. Alright, so I have to add, I'm not going to do that on this first compile, it's going to be the second one. Okay, let's see how all this compiles. Okay. Oh. Alright. Oops. Skip. So what you're seeing here is one of the libraries you'll see here. It's in node modules. I have node modules excluded, but it's still getting pulled up. I did read why, but I don't remember, and I'm just telling you that this was the solution, skip libchuck, and I'm just going to do that. And I am not sure this is even, let's just run this parcel dev. I'll show you that real quick while I'm waiting. Package. here's my parcel dev command. You'll see it's assuming that TSC has been has ran. I didn't want to make it part of this flow. It's going to copy the service worker to the root. It's also going to activate parcel on the HTML file and the service worker file. Okay, that rebuilt. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, right. Always have to clear my data. Oh yeah, I have to trigger a notification somewhere, don't I? All right. So let's go into that login screen that you just saw. And let's put a button that's going to create a new notification and push it through the state. Okay. Alright, so I already have dispatch defined up here, so I'm just going to invoke dispatch, and I've already imported actions, so we're going to get actions app queue notification. Oh, I don't have models up here. I guess I'll do this. I know I should just write some unit tests, and that's coming. I really just want to get it all working together first. Const. I need to define a new notification. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, right. Okay, right. Because that's not how this is. Alright, let's see if it recognizes that. Nope. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do this. There. Test message. I'll just put event ID. Oops, success. We love seeing success, don't we? And let's display it for 5,000 milliseconds. Okay. And now we are going to pass that. It does not like something other. Okay, great. So now I have an actual button that might even trigger a notification. Alright, clear my cache. Of course. There we go. Reload. Alright, check notifications. Okay, I didn't get a notification. But I do have some log here. Okay. So in queue notification block, result coming out of queue notification. Great. You know what I bet? I bet my listener is not placed. Okay, so I need to go into my app file here. Yeah, I don't have a listener here. Okay. Import notification listener from shared listeners. Okay, so now I have a notification listener imported, which you've already seen. Let's just stack this up here nice and neat with my other listeners. Alright, let's run it again. Alright, clear data. Reload, here we go. It seemed like something kind of happened. It did. Look. But where is it? You see it pushed everything down, which I'm inevitably not going to want. What I'm going to have to do is probably create a Z index and set some position properties. Okay. Not my primary concern at the moment. Let's see. My primary concern is just being able to see it all. It'd be great if I could see it, even though I am super happy that it worked that much. Considering that I had not ran that code at all up to that point. So, toot my horn. Okay, let's do this. Let's go back to login. Let's set this for 20 seconds so that I can do some inspection. Because as long as it's there, I will know I'm that much closer. Inspect. I'm not gonna be able to find this in 20 seconds, am I? Shit. Alert. Alert heading info. Says info. Okay. Alright, it looks like there's some classes not getting set on the notification. Okay, great. So there is something going on here that is not working. Let's have a look at what my notification looks like. Notification from component. Okay. It looks like it hot reloaded, but I don't trust it. Alright, well that did not Oh, right, duh. Here we go. Is that, it looks like it's 2 layers. It looks like there's something wrong there. Why? Okay, so let's see from the listener then. Notifications from listener. Notifications from listener. It looks like it's double layered there too. Let's prove that out. No, let's not. Let's go back to the actions and let's see here what this looks like. It might be something in my state. Alright, notification from queue action of what my actual notification looks like. Okay. And we'll see if that is wrapped. Alright. I think it hot reloaded. I really do. Let's go for it. I don't see that. Is this it? That is it. No, it's not. Notification from queue action is what I'm looking for. I don't see it. Could I have guessed? Every time. And this is something about hot reloading with PWAs because I mean it's stored and it is doing cache first. Might have something to do with it. Okay, notification from queue action. It is, okay, so it's in my reducer that this is getting wrapped. It looks, let's see what foulness is going on here. Queue notification. In queue notification log. Okay, so this is it in the queue notification log. That looks good. So what is happening? So action.payload. Yes. Right, okay, so in this case, okay, result coming out of queue notification. Result coming out, okay. Coming out of compose. Notifications array is 0. Of course it is. Alright, here it is. Alright, okay, I think I see what it is. I have to run this again. It's updated the reference. Okay, so here it is. Result. Okay, see notifications. That's first level. That's good. That's what it should look like. So then why? Just double check that. Yeah. That's definitely what's up. So it is in my action. No, it's in this notifications from listener. notification from listener. Here we go. Alright. Look, that's great. Oh, come on. Now it's double wrapped here. Here, okay. So this is where I can't imagine where else. Notification right before it gets sent to component. Let's do this. Okay. Alright, so now we'll look and see what it looks like there, and then the only thing I could imagine is it's somewhere in this notification here. Oh, look, I found it, didn't I? I did. I found it. It's this. It's that. Okay. So usually functional components get destructured objects, and I just managed to not destructure it properly. So that's why I look like an object and an object. Okay. This does mean that I'm not getting a type here, which we may not have to create like a components, a type for these components, and maybe I will. Not tonight. But that's the problem. Okay, so let's run it again. Okay, done. Let's clear the cache. Closer. It says test for the messages. That looks like it should be. Oh, I see what it is. You can't see the success because it's under, yeah. Right, which is why I have to do something with the Z index. I want to have to do that too. I am not anywhere near finished. Fix Z index for alert notification container. Okay. All right. That is it for the evening. We will pick this up in part 3 next time. Thank you so much for watching.